Welcome back, Happy Fabricators. Thanks for tuning in to episode 7 of Fab Tool Friday, where I bring you a tool that you've either seen in this shop or I found useful in the fabrication industry. My name is Alex, and let's get started. Okay, so the tool that made the cut for episode 7 of Fab Tool Friday is the 90-degree drill driver. So what this is an attachment that you can add on to your standard driver, whether it be corded or battery powered driver. Sometimes you got to get into a place to drill a hole that maybe you don't have enough clearance and you can't get the head of this driver to either drive a screw in or drill a hole or whatever the function you need it to do. There's just not the clearance to do it, and that is where these little guys come in. Now I have two different ones here at two different price points. I've got the Milwaukee brand one and the AUCO, A-U-C-O. I've been using the Milwaukee one at work, my 9-to-5, for about 6 years now, and it's held up super well. I decided I want one for home, and I got this one here at home about 2 months ago, and I've been using the heck out of it. It's one of those tools that you didn't realize how much you would use it until you actually got one in your hands and accessible at home. And the reason I was bringing both of them is because they're two totally different price points, kind of. The Milwaukee one at the current time of this video comes in at around $97, and this off-brand one comes in at about $36. But overall, I've got great performance out of both of them. And after we talk about a little bit more about the function of them, we'll go over the differences in quality that I've noticed. Okay, so why might you need a 90-degree driver attachment? The first one is, like I said before, is going to be clearance. Now you may need to get in somewhere where there's a low clearance to drill a hole. And in addition to this, what you're going to want is a set of these little guys. These are low clearance, low profile drill bits, and they take the standard 1/4-inch hex drivers, which this thing accepts, and you can pop them in here, and we've got a clearance of probably roughly around 3 inches. So if you compare that to the drill, the drill without any sort of driver or bit on it, you're looking at 7 inches, and then you put another driver on top of that, and you're looking at another at least 1.5 inches, even if you have the low profile one. I would say realistically for the drill, your clearance is going to be like 7 plus 1.5 inches. You're looking at 8.5 inches, and this guy you're going to squeeze in at about 3 inches. Now you can use this to drill holes. I like to run stepper bit in it sometimes, because sometimes you need to drill a larger hole, and it's not uncommon for a larger drill bit to be longer. So that stepper bit allows you to get that larger diameter hole and still keep that low profile. So you can go in, maybe pilot your hole with a smaller bit and then open it up with that larger stepper bit. The other thing I use it for is just regular drivers. You can stick your Phillips or Square or Torx head driver, and you can get into a tight spot and be able to either loosen or tighten those fasteners a lot easier. Another function of these tools is they have adjustable handles, so you can adjust the holding handle to lay back or go out, or even back it out all the way, fold it down, and then change the rotation and orientation of the handle. I actually didn't realize that you could do this until I got this one. I've been using this one for the last 5 years and didn't realize that you could change the orientation of this handle and spin it around, because there's been several times where I'm like, man, this handle's in the way. I wish I could spin it around, and I can. I'm just not smart enough to figure it out until now. So now that you've seen the function and application of this tool, let's go over the differences of these two that I've personally had experience with. So they definitely make cheaper options, even lower than the $35 version of this, but these are both ones that seem robust enough that I would want in my shop. They're both have metal bodies. They both have metal drivers. The gearbox feels really good and smooth, and both of them are good and heavy weighted. I would say they're both probably like, I don't know, 3/4 pound-ish. There's a lot of metal in these things. The Milwaukee is also complete metal body, and the gearbox feels really smooth on it as well. The two primary differences that I've noticed between the two is, number one, the release system for the Milwaukee just seems like it's just slightly more robust. It's got this brass kind of collet here, and you pull it out, stick your driver in, and it's just nice and solid, just feels super firm. Whereas the AUCO one has an aluminum, and instead of pulling it out, you push it in and slide it in, and there's just a little more slop in it, but you can just tell that it's engineered slightly different, and the Milwaukee definitely feels a little better when it comes to that. The other thing that I notice is when you spin this guy like this, you can notice that there's just a little bit of run out in this one. So if I get it up here closer and zoom in for you, if I spin this guy, you can see the slightest bit of run out in that driver. And if you don't know what run out is, that's when you spin something and you get just a little bit of wander in it, which can affect the trueness of a hole if you're doing something really specific. And the Milwaukee one is very true when it spins. There's very little run out. Well, I guess there's a tiny bit of run out in this one too, just not quite as much. There's just that small minute difference, and those are the two primary things that I noticed as far as difference in quality. But overall, if $96 isn't in the budget, $35 is a third of the price, and for home use, it's still a solid, heavy metal piece and feels very robust. Now, I've never actually ran either of these on an impact gun. I don't remember if they recommend it or not, but I have used it on some heavier duty drilling applications and have not had a problem with either of them thus far. So if any of these tools pique your interest, I will leave links down in the description below so that you can check them out yourself, along with the stubby drill bits and the 1/4 inch hex driver stepper bits. I've found these to be very useful tools, and I really appreciate you guys sticking around to this far in the video. So once again, if you want to see more fabrication content, click some of the links that are going to pop up here. If you want to be notified of upcoming videos, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. It's free to do so, and go build something, guys. Why are you still here? The next video is right up here. I can't click it for you. You got to do it on your own. Whatever.